Hello YouTube and hello Twitter. How are you all doing? I hope you're doing okay. Welcome to Thursdays with Viola. So today I'm all Hay Festival. This is one of my favorite hoodies, Hay Festival-y. And I have my Hay Festival cup. Once this held beer, actually no, it probably held cider. And this isn't cider or beer, it's water. But that's okay. I guess I just wanted to think more about being able to go to festivals and stuff. I went in 2018. I think it was May. Yeah, I went with my kids and stuff. It was really fun. Anyway, let's talk about Read Me, Speak Me. This week it's Esther van den Heuvel. I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce her name. She did correct all of us when she's done a piece for Read Me, Speak Me before. And she, said, this is how you say my name. She's Dutch. And, sorry, I'm adjusting you, just so, there. Yeah, so she did, but I now, of course, I can't recall how to pronounce her name. But anyway, she's written a piece this week called The Wizard, and it's really cool. I read it on Sunday, and it made me excited. It's like a little bit different. And Esther's quite fun and theatrical, When she did a reading for me for my green tea piece, she did it from the bath. It was really, it was a lot of fun. So she's a fun character and a great poet. So we'll have a look at The Wizard. I have not listened to anything or done my reading yet, and I do apologize. Basically, what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do my reading today. It's Thursday, so I will do my reading today. And then I will catch up with the other readings over Friday and Saturday, including Esther's original voice reading, which I'm sure will be really cool. She frequently does a video, and it's usually pretty fun. So there's that. And you know what? Today I wanted to talk about something that's a little bit different. I have been writing, don't worry, okay? But I'm gonna talk about my book, my actual book, and what inspired me to write it, and what kind of inspires me to write and to read now. I want to share this with you. So, In Love with the Past is out on Amazon. It has been for a while. I think I released it 2018. Yeah, and the lady on the cover, okay, this is my grandmother, and this is a painting done by my aunt based on a photo of my grandmother. And I was kind of inspired by her background a little bit to write In Love with the Past. My grandmother was from North Dakota. She grew up in a household where they spoke a dialect of German, so not like standard German, what they would teach in schools, but they spoke like a dialect. And also my grandfather, who obviously my mom's dad, so this is my maternal grandparents, he also spoke the same dialect. He was born in what is today Serbia, in the Vojvodina region of Serbia, but he emigrated to the United States with his older siblings and his parents when he was a toddler, basically, like in the 1900s. My grandmother's parents had only just arrived in the country, but she was born in North Dakota. But she and my grandfather spoke a dialect of German. They were from a group called Danube Swabians or Danube. And so they were basically descended from people who moved kind of in the 1700s, and that's correct, I screwed up last, the 1700s. They moved from what is today southwestern Germany, and also kind of Alsace-Lorraine, which is where Germany meets France. Like France and Germany have always fought over that territory. They moved from there and southwestern Germany to what is today where Romania and Hungary and Serbia kind of meet. and they lived there for a few generations, basically. So they spoke a dialect of German, but they also, their language and their culture was flavored with Eastern European culture as well, and they were very Catholic. My grandparents' marriage was actually arranged, even though they lived in the United States as adults. Their parents kind of liked them to marry other Catholics, very importantly, and there was kind of a Danube Swabian settlement in that part of North Dakota, in southwest North Dakota, where they were, which is where my mother was born. My mother was born in North Dakota, and I used to visit there every summer up until being about 13. Yeah, but that really interested me. The book is not about my grandmother or really any particular stories from my family, but I do use Danube Swabian history and the history of that immigration in the story. Even though the story is fiction, it's paranormal romance and all that sort of thing. And also, I wanted to put out there that even though I have an interest in my heritage, my family history, I in no way, shape, or form put it up on a pedestal. I don't, and I don't believe in doing that. I don't think that I'm better or special because of it, and also I respect that I did not grow up with Danube Swabian culture. I grew up with fairly standard white, Catholic, American Midwestern culture. So I, did not grow up with like European culture really. There were just remnants of it in like some of the food that my mom made, and she remembered some swear words in German. But that was about it. And so, history does inspire me, and it when it is a little bit personal, because it's your own, perhaps not you did not grow up in that culture, but your ancestors. I do find that interesting to look into what happened and what their lives were like, and how they lived, and what happened to them. And it's not all good. Some of it's quite dark and upsetting indeed. But yeah, I wanted to look into it. Like, also, I will tell you guys that I did the whole Ancestry.com thing. I did the whole DNA thing. It wasn't surprising to me that a large chunk of my DNA was Germanic Europe, and then the next chunk was England, England and Northwest Europe, and then the next chunk was Scottish, actually, like that was like 20-something%, and then Irish and Welsh and some Scandinavian stuff. But then also I kind of came up a bit that the England, Northwest Europe-y was connected to genetic communities like Colonial New York. So that interests me, that's why I've kind of had a bit of a hankering for colonial America, British America, that sort of thing. It does interest me. Again, I will say it again. I in no way, shape, or form put my ancestry up on a pedestal. I think that's weird. But I don't think that there's anything wrong with wanting to find out about that, as long as you can accept and understand that it's not going to be this story of nothing but heroes and cool people. You're going to find out stuff that isn't, that is horrifying, frankly. So, I am willing to accept the bad with the good, and also take it with the reality check, that I grew up in the United States. I live in England and have done for many years, so, I do have some, actual connection via, living here, but that is separate, really, from my heritage or whatever. But yeah, these sort of things do inspire me, and they make me want to read more. Yeah, so I hope that's okay, that I wanted to change things up and talk about In Love with the Past. The title, like In Love with the Past, I think is significant. I mean, it is a paranormal romance, but I think that we do sometimes look at the past through rosy tinted glasses, and you know, you'd think like, oh, it was so romantic back in the day, you know, not like now. And you know, I'll admit, a lot of the time now when I look at like all the historical romances that I used to love to read, you know, the bodice rippers, now when I read them, I kind of think, God, can you imagine how bad they smelled? Like, that's not romantic at all. Anywho, it's after 10 minutes, so I have to finish now. But that maybe explains to you some of my leanings toward my writing, my little obsession with Puritans, because I think I'm pretty sure I'm of some Puritanical background, which makes me interested, I guess. But I don't put it up on a pedestal or think that it defines me. Okay, all right, I'm done. I hope you guys have a good rest of your Thursday, a pleasant Friday, and I will see you all next week.